see Anita. Where are you? Anita, you've kept this since the 1980 reunion? Were you like 8 then? 18. 8. This is the poem that you wrote.
Dad was 58.
You were 58. You wrote this poem and read it to everybody at Sheboygan at the reunion. Randall is going to reprise this. Unless you want to read it.
I was given this 45 minutes ago.
It's okay, you have plenty of time.
True story. All right. So this is in the voice of Patrick. The start of the 40s found the Finland clan well. We were all in the South, except Angela and Spill. From the farm to the city, Upper Black to the Jacks. Who'd have thought it would take 40 years to get back? It's 4 pages. We lived in D.C., 15th was the street. Though some were now married, that's the place we would meet. Pa was a guard, got to work by the streetcar. Ma ran the household, was truly the star. The Sterling restaurant was the principal spot. Grade A was the manager, he taught us a lot. His money was made by his knack with the cue, and by switching beer labels, we could serve every brew. Another employer of some of the clan was Hurich Brewers. Hyrick Brewers. It's the chief checker Tan. Earl handled the ice, kept cool in the heat. The pay wasn't bad. Free beer was his treat. The 4 youngest sons of the Moose and the Pruce were going to college, and from here were cut loose. Double E was first string as a Notre Dame frosh, until his chin met a knee, his position he lost. As a freshman T starred in the sports he did play, Ma fed half his team, for if invited they'd stay. More fame came to Soapy, now coach at a college. Rex joined him at Richmond to get him more knowledge. Lifestyles were all changed when the war rose its head. 7 eligible men to the service we sped. Horn had an excuse, his height wasn't it. He had too many kids, his role to babysit. John went with the Navy, young pilots he led. His most notable students were Pesky and Ted. Ted Williams. He knew those in power, safe place for Fred would he hunt. Got him into the CVs and sent straight to the front. It didn't take long for the rest of us to join up. School and wives had to wait, for the war did disrupt. The Air Corps got 3, the Army just 2. John's example with SOGs made the Navy taboo. We were scattered around from the east to the west, saw some real action, all were quite blessed. Fum went into the Army, became a corporal, led men. He called his troops together, say, "Where are you men been?" Rex was a pilot, a bomber he flew. He leave from old England, gave the Haneys their due. Bud controlled planes, gave the go for full throttle, and when the radio didn't work, he'd blow on his bottle. Leroy was a sergeant, supply was his trade. From Germany he sent parachutes with which curtains were made. Larry went in last, foot soldier was he. His rifle he used on the men from Germany. In the year 45, the Axis powers finally gave in. We all returned home, a new life to begin. To college, to work, to wed, and then, by the end of the 40s, there were no eligible men. With 9 married children, the Finland clan did grow fast. Mons Paul was the first, then Kara the last. The descendants increased, not a household was bare. We'd have probably reached 50 if Angela had done her share.
Yeah, tell them who Angela was.
Do you want to step in? She was a nun, so obviously couldn't.
Legitimate.
Dad's eyes had failed. Near the radio he sat, keeping up with the news or a congressional spat. Never did he complain that he couldn't see. What he missed through his eyes, he made up in memory. He listened to the news 20 times in a day, give us all the scores and what Arch McDonald had to say. Ma was a Democrat, Pa a Republican of note. In every election in absentia, they'd vote. When Dewey and Truman were the candidates to choose, Pa voted both ballots, still his man did lose. Another fine feat for which he was proud, he recited the dates of birth of each grandchild out loud. He'd argue with Ma for these facts he knew. 'Twas a remarkable recall, for they numbered 42. Our dad worked hard, stood tall and erect. By far his best move was the wife he did select. The eldest of the Doyle girls, our mother-to-be, was married to Dad in 1904, not 1903. That's a good run there. She raised us and clothed us and patterned our lives, taught us what to look for in husbands and wives. Her virtues were many, great love did she share. For each of her children, a special spot was right there. If a word could describe her over all of the rest, 'twas the spirit of self-sacrifice. To me, that's the best. The war gives the example that comes clearly to mind. 7 sons in the service, some on the front line. Yet weekly came letters, so all could keep up what the others were doing, who was there, and for what. To Mass every day for years did she roam, till all of her boys were back safe and at home. For her children, a mother is someone apart. No other can hold the same spot in your heart. The 50s was a decade of prosperity and peace. Grandchildren were still coming, our numbers did increase. Opportunities opened to our own, we were true. Some families moved afar to increase revenue. Others stayed near the folks, even lived on their street. Silver Springs was the place. Eastwood Drive was their beat. As parents grow older and their health starts to slide, their children get worried, real feelings they can't hide. We went into the 60s, still the clan was intact. But the Lord has plans, soon the future got black. Death has its sting, to each family's dislike. Dad's death, though a mercy, was the first break in the dike. Mother's call came soon after, it was a great shock. The Lord spared her suffering, and we lost the queen of the flock. Now gone are some others who love we did share, the presence of their absence, heartbreaking to bear. But life must go on, make the most of each day. They're all here in spirit, watching over us as we pray. As we enter the 80s, more new families begun. The young must lead and keep the ties of the clan Finlan. Frank and Maggie were Irish, strong and loving, honest and true. Let's make sure they're always proud of the things that we do.
Where's Anita? Anita, you brought that.
He wrote it.
But we don't have, didn't have copies of it.